All right, Shalom, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakudash. This is just a brief disclaimer before the video starts. There's a couple points where I misspoke. Abraham was not referring to his grandfather when he said father. He was referring to his actual father. And I also wanted to, again, well, for the first time, stress before the video plays that I'm doing this in humility, There are some points where I got frustrated during this lesson, so-called curse words and whatnot. But again, this is in all humility, So with that being said, I'll play the video.
You know where they got that from? Because Abraham and Jacob and Isaac, they were inbred. But the Most High allowed it at that time.
Right.
And you can't do that now.
No.
The only relative close to you can get with is your niece. But that you wouldn't do that.
No.
You wouldn't do that. But you can't do that.
Right.
You can't get with your sister. You can't get with your mother, of course. You can't get with your father's wife, meaning concubine.
Right.
Even though that's not inbred, but you're uncovering the nakedness of your father.
Right.
Yeah, and all what Pastor said, all that is covered in the law. That's before Abraham, that's before the law was put on stone. But then after Abraham, when Moses came on the scene, all them laws was put on stone. And what he was saying is, it goes back to the law. Who you can deal with, who you can't deal with.
Right.
If we're teaching something and we go off, don't realize it, and another different camp says that we're going off, you gotta swallow your pride and say, "Yep, they were right." You gotta swallow your pride and say, "Yep, they were right." You gotta swallow your pride and say, "Yep, they were right."
Shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakudash. And although this is going to be somewhat of a, it's not going to be somewhat, it's the actual rebuke video. I still would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, for bringing this truth out and for teaching me this truth. And the reason I said it's going to be a rebuke is because, quite simply put, Abraham and Sarah were not blood brothers and sisters. And, I know we're in the time of, I'm thinking about a whole bunch of replies and responses that, our brothers might throw out. "Oh, we see through a glass darkly," and, be occupied in prophecy and things like that. Which, yeah, be occupied in prophecy, but this still is a very important topic that I'm about to discuss, and is a huge stain on the doctrine. If we're meant to be like the Church of Berea, when we go to the scriptures and read what you say, it's supposed to add up. You can have everything else correct, which I agree with GMS on everything else. Even the so-called grape. That's not even a hard pill to swallow. That's just, it is what it is, The mark of the beast. It's the microchip. Esau, the so-called white man. Obvious. All these things add up, and, they are clear as day in the scriptures. Just as this should be. So, without further ado, I want to get into the topic at hand. So this is Genesis 11, and I'm going to start from, as we know, this is just lineages and whatnot. I'm going to start from Genesis 11 and 29. It says, "And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah." Now I'm starting here because this name right here, Iscah, is never, ever, ever, ever again mentioned in the scriptures. Never. So why would they just mention this person? Which there are people that are mentioned, once or twice, and then they're not important. Why is this person mentioned with Abraham and and Nahor and Sarai and Milcah. Why is this person mentioned right here? It's a she. Why is this person mentioned, and then just all of a sudden the next verse it just seemingly starts talking about somebody else? Now this name here, Iska, it means one who looks forward. But let's go into it. See right here, she's the sister of Lot. And it says observant. That's the meaning. Observant. Now, this is the correct interpretation. Iska and Sarai are the same people. Even when you're reading this in the Hebrew, verse 30 where it says right here, but Sarai was barren, she had no child, it actually says and in the Hebrew. It says wa. So it's and. It says wa haya ya. That's what it says. Let me see. Let's click on this word. Haya. To be. To exist. To come. You know. So it says wa in the beginning of it. So it's a continuation of the very first scripture or the scripture above it. It's a continuation. So when it says Sarai, it's talking about Iska. Now, let's go to the account in question. And again, you know, this right here, going through the scriptures and going in and out of Hebrew, this might be tedious. And I know there's going to be some people that's going to say, look, brother, that's not an important topic and then blah, 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 blah. And this shit and that. The apostles, just Great Millstone in general, is notorious for saying we have 100% truth. I have no problem with them saying that. But as of right now, if you are agreeing that Abraham and Sarah are blood brothers and sisters of the same immediate father, then you do not have 100% truth. Point blank, period. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I mean that with all humility. Because at the end of the day, Great Millstone is just a title. Okay? Every camp that has a name is just a title. All right? Even Great Millstone themselves says, you know, and the affiliate camps that have the like doctrine, you know, shalom to them. So this, at the end of the day, is about the doctrine. And it's about the scriptures. So this might seem like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But as I go into this lesson, you're going to see how it is very much a big deal. Now, this is Genesis 20. And Genesis 20 and 10, it says, and Abimelech said unto Abraham, what sawest thou, that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet, now hold on. Here's something that's important. Abimelech is a Philistine. He's a Hamite. Now we all know the laws came 400 years later. Now, if Abimelech is saying, yo, you told me this is your sister, but this is actually your wife, that means Abimelech had some understanding of, hey, you shouldn't sleep with another man's wife. Where did he get that from? This is before the law. We all say, hey, the laws were oral. Because where did Cain know how to sacrifice? Moses wasn't on the scene yet. You know? Where did he learn those things? It speaks about the sons of Seth, and then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Where did they know all this info from? It was oral. everything that's written in the law outside of the Passover and things that happened in Egypt that became a law, fringes, more than likely wasn't a thing before the law. That was made, hey, put this on so you don't forget. Before that, there was no forgetting. Our people knew to keep, our ancestors, our righteous forefathers knew to keep certain customs and keep these laws. They knew, hey, that's wicked to lay down with your blood sister. That's an evil thing. Now, the Egyptians, that's something that they actually did. Why in the fuck would Abraham lay down with his blood sister? And it says, let me keep going, and excuse my French, but this, when you start noticing what you actually saying, you're saying Abraham. When the so-called Edomite scholars, when they speak about the fathers of the promise, who's the first one they mention? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. We're supposed to have faith like Abraham, right? We're supposed to strive to be like Abraham, right? Be like Isaac, be like Jacob, be like Yahushua. Abraham is important. So why in the hell would he do something like this? Let's read it. Because the scriptures does not say he slept with his blood sister. Verse 12, and yet indeed, he says, surely, I thought surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. Now, as I said earlier, Abimelech, which was a heathen, even he had some understanding. Hey, this man's wife. He knew. And you can say, maybe he only knew that it was wickedness and it was wrong because the Lord came to him in the dream. You can say that, but he at least had some understanding. Hey, I shouldn't do this. So where did that come from? If the laws didn't come to Moses, it was in the earth, how to be, how to walk. Brothers always make videos about how Adam, governed the garden, governed the earth. The other nations, they weren't perfect in it, but they knew, certain, even today, incest is one of the most frowned upon things in the planet. If that's the case, if Abraham did it, why we should just say, fuck it. Let's do it. Our Father Abraham had many sons, and many sons had Father Abraham. Father Abraham had many sons through his blood sister, right? That's why I said, when you just say it out loud, you got to realize how stupid it is. Saying that he committed the act of incest. Verse 12. And yet, indeed, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. Now, the reason I'm reading it like this is because Abraham is basically saying, yo, I ain't lie to you. She is my sister. Now, let's go into the Hebrew. Let's go into the words. Because when you read it in English, see, English, we have words like great. Oh, yeah, it's my great-great-grandmother. That was my great-great-grandfather. You'll never see the word grandfather in the Bible. Matter of fact, after I pull these words out, I'm going to search for it. It's not one time mentioned in the scriptures. Not once. Because the Hebrew is a family-oriented language. Abraham and Lot were called brothers. But we all know through the lineage, that actually Lot is Abraham's nephew. So why sometimes they say brother? Because brethren, family, relative, cousin, sister, cousin, relative. We don't have all these many different distinctions. Oh, that's my 14th cousin, twice removed. That's not really present or prevalent in the Hebrew language. You can say, yeah, that's my father, and that's actually your uncle. You can say that. You can say, oh, that's my father, and that's actually your grandfather. So let's go to this word. She is my sister. Now, just like, because nigga might jump up and get simple. This word, akwath, all right, sister, is the female version of ak. Everybody in your camp, or you might see a Jake on the street and y'all in true, shalom ak. Is that your actual brother? Same father and same mother? No. But that's your distant relative. If we all Israelites, we all relatives, right? So you can use ak. It says sister. Sister, same parents. Half sister, same father. Let me see. Relative. It also means relative. That's the word sister. Right? Now let's go to daughter. Bun. The daughter, Bath, is a female way of saying bun. Bun is son. Okay? We all know this. We all know this. In the New Testament, it says Yahushua is the son of David. Is he actually the direct son of David? No. He's the son of 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 David. So you can use son, but it doesn't mean immediate. David is one of his fathers, one of his forefathers. As I said, in Hebrew, you can say father, and it doesn't automatically always mean immediate. Now this word, I read akwath. She is my sister. She is the daughter. She is the daughter or girl or adopted daughter or daughter-in-law or sister or granddaughter of my father. That's what it means. She is the granddaughter of my father. Father. Father of an individual, of God as father of his people, head or founder of a household, group, family, or clan. Ancestor, grandfather, forefathers. Originator or patron of a class. You have to go through these definitions and make it make sense. It's so base and so old school to not go into these words. That's what it said. He said she's the sister of his father. And I get it. If One West, they didn't go into it because, maybe I don't know. I don't know what happened. I definitely know that they taught Abraham and Sarah were blood brothers and sisters. How do I know that? Because GMS teaches that. Offshoot camps teach that. IUIC teach that. All camps teach this, that they're blood brothers and sisters. And me stressing this fact that they are not blood brothers and sisters, they are relatives. She's the granddaughter of his grandfather, which makes her his niece. Okay, they're relatives. The fact of me stressing this, again, it might seem like not a big deal. But when you say that that's, okay, no, it actually was incest, you're saying Yahushua, who was incarnated as Isaac, you saying he came through incest. So Yahushua can't be a so-called white man. We know he's not. Why would the Lord send him down, on the earth in leprous skin? Why also would the Lord send him down as Isaac through incest? Make it make sense. The more and more you say this out loud and realize what you're saying, you should get frustrated by this not being corrected. And I'm going to show you that even Esau knows that they're not blood brothers and sisters. Esau literally on the internet says the correct interpretation is she is his niece. And when he said, she is the daughter of my father, what he meant by that was, she is the granddaughter of my grandfather. Even Esau knows that. So why can't no actual Israelite camp get with this? Now let's go. We went to daughter. We went to sister. Now let's go to mother. Because when he said she's not the daughter of my mother, he meant of my immediate mother. How do you know? Where's the word mother? It just means mother. It just means mother. There's no word for grandmother. Right? So he was talking about his immediate mother. And when he said father, he wasn't talking about his immediate father. Point blank, period. And when you read it, let's just read it slow. And Abraham said, because I thought surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And he's saying, yo, I thought y'all niggas was gonna kill me because my wife. But really, I didn't lie. Indeed, I ain't lying. She is my sister. She is my relative. Then, if they're blood brothers and sisters, he would have just stopped right there. She is my sister. But then he goes on to explain how they're related. She is the daughter, granddaughter of my father, grandfather, but not the daughter, immediate daughter of my mother, immediate mother. Period. That's what he meant. That's actually what he said, and that's the interpretation. I'm sure the king would have been like, wait, y'all got the same daddy? And y'all married? Y'all got some freaky shit going on. He would have said something. Now let's go to, let's just read the next verse. It says, and it came to pass when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, this is thy kindness, which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, he is my brother. Because she was beautiful. So he was like, look, niggas gonna want you. Everywhere we go, just tell them that I'm your brother. Matter of fact, let's go into this word brother. Let's go into this word brother. Ak. Now I read the female definition of it. Brother of same parents, half brother, same father, relative, kinship, same tribe. Now let's go to this. Where is it at? Now, anytime like I said earlier, anytime you use brother, it doesn't mean that you have the same father and same mother. It doesn't always mean that. How do we know? Let's look at number 5. It says, any friend. Let me zoom in. Any friend. Thus used of the friends of Job. It says, and of Solomon. Solomon who calls Hiram his brother. Solomon literally used the term Ak for Hiram. Hiram was a motherfucking heathen. So it's showing you, look, you got to go into these words and put it together with the rest of the text, with the context. Abraham was saying, she's my niece. She's the daughter of my grandfather, but not the daughter of my mother, immediate mother. Period. Now let's go. I'm going to go and show you that even Esau knows this. Let's look up Sarah. Here we have Sarah. Sarah is a biblical matriarch, prophetess, and major figure in Abrahamic religions. While different Abrahamic faiths portray her differently, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all depict her character similarly as that of a pious woman, renowned for her hospitality and beauty, the wife and half-sister of Abraham. Now let's go to pious real quick. It says piety is a virtue which may include religious devotion or spirituality. A common element in most conceptions of piety is a duty of respect. Let's go to the etymology. pious, devout, dutiful. Faithful, devoted. Now let's go to let's go back to Genesis 11. Because Issachar, I read that earlier. Issachar's name means to be observant. Observant. It says observant right there. And it tells you right there that she's the sister of Lot. Which is why you get the connection that, okay, if she's the sister of Lot, and Lot is Abraham's nephew, she would be Abraham's niece, i.e. relative, i.e. Akwath, sister, because it has many definitions. So let's go to and mind you, because she spoke to Abimelech alone. She spoke to him alone. She could have said, hey, that's my husband. So another name for Sarah was Issachar, which means to be observant, to look out. That's what it means. That word Issachar means to look out, to look forward, to watch. She looked out for Abraham. She was observant. Don't the scriptures say even Sarah calling Abraham Lord? She was observant. So, even GMS brings this out. Nomen omens or omen omens. Her name, her other name that she was known by meant something. It meant something. So she just had a little nickname, Issachar. The Most High had different names, or different names that he was known by, but he has one name we know is Yahweh. He was also known as Alashajah. So why can't that be talking about Sarah when it says Issachar? It is. Now let's go back to now this is Esau. These are Edomites that put this together. It says family. According to the book of Genesis 20 and 12, in a conversation with the Philistine king Abimelech of Gerar, Abraham describes Sarah as both his wife and his half-sister, my father's daughter, but not my mother's. Such unions were later explicitly banned in the book of Leviticus 18 and 9. However, commentators, Edomite commentators, identify her as Issachar, Genesis 11:29, which I read, a daughter of Abraham's brother, which makes her Abraham's niece. The identification as his father's daughter, 2012, is explained as meaning his father's granddaughter. Period. Similarly, Abraham and the Bible generally describe Issachar / Sarah. They can see the connection. / Sarah's brother Lot as Abraham's brother, though Lot is actually a nephew, not a brother. So there you have it. The scriptures call Abraham and Lot brothers, but they're not. They're nephews and uncles to each other. Now, this is the Edomite. Without this interpretation, without this correct interpretation, this would make Sarah the daughter of Terah and the half-sister of not only Abraham, but also Haran and Nahor. She would also have been the aunt of Lot, Milcah, Iscah, and Bethuel by blood and marriage. In the alternate interpretation of Issachar, Sarah is the daughter of Hatan, granddaughter of Terah, niece of Abraham and Nahor, and his sister-in-law, sister of Lot and Milcah, and first cousin of Bethuel. By her union with Abraham, Sarah had one child, Isaac. That's the Lord. That's Yahushai, right? Which I agree with. That's Yahushai. But he gonna come through incest? Why didn't, Solomon's parents, didn't they create incest then too? Shouldn't they have? Joseph and Mary, the incest. Why this one time he gonna come through fucking incest? And I can see it now. We see through a glass darkly. Don't, you know. And like I said, you know, I'm coming with all humility and respect. Do miss me with we see through a glass darkly. You're gonna have to boldly proclaim, no, yes, they was actually incest, blood brothers and blood sisters. Or you're gonna have to boldly proclaim the correct interpretation. Look, this is how we learned it at One West, blah, 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 blah. When you go into the Hebrew, it's possible that she was his niece. If it's possible, then that's it. It's not possible that Yahushua was a so-called white man. It's not possible that Yahushua came for all nations. You have to use the same logic. Because when you see Gentiles getting salvation, a Christian can jump over and say, hey, you know, we all in there. No, if it's talking about Gentiles and salvation, based on the algorithm, the matrix of the scriptures cannot contradict each other, right? Based on that, you have to go into the words and say, hey, this form of a Gentile, this type of a Gentile is an Israelite that lost his way, lost his customs, his religion, such and such. You have to fit that together or else the scriptures is a lie. So just like that, you have to say, okay, this word can also mean grandfather. This word can also mean granddaughter. This word can mean relative. It can mean cousin. You have to put that, okay, actually they were not blood brothers and sisters, because Edomites doing it right here. Edomites are doing this right here, telling you that Abraham and Sarah are not actual blood brothers and sisters. She was his niece. Now let's go to let me see. Now let's just look at this. There are numerous examples of incest in the Bible. The most commonly thought of commonly thought of examples are sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. Now, they are holding to, based on this, they're holding to Adam and Eve was the only people walking around butt naked on earth. They had sons and they had daughters, so their sons had to fuck their sisters, right? That's what they're holding on to. But we know when you go into the scriptures, there were other people. So if Abraham was committed incest, why didn't the sons of Adam and Eve, why they didn't do it? Abraham would have had to learn that from somewhere. He would have had to learn that from somewhere. First off, the Most High called Abraham and told, yo, get out your father's crib. He told him to leave. But he also put in Abraham's mind, hey, take your blood sister with you. Yeah, that's your wife now. No. Make it make sense. Extrapolate. Put the pieces together. They're showing you, Edomites are showing you like, hey, this is a possible interpretation. If that's possible, then that's the one that we should go to. Because when you say that they did the act of incest, you're saying Yahushua came in a body that was brought on through incest. The scriptures say a bastard should not enter into the congregation of the Lord. No, not even till his 10th generation. A bastard, an incest baby. Right? So if Abraham and Sarah are blood brothers and sisters, Isaac, Jacob, all that whole lineage, no, because they're bastards, right? That's what y'all basically saying, though. Come on now, make it make sense. Now I want to go to this, this is going to be my last little bit to say on this. This is Genesis 27 and not Genesis, it's a lot. This is Deuteronomy 27 and 22. Cursed be he that lieth with his sister, the daughter of his father. Now right here, It's showing you which sister it's talking about. Because if you lie with it's another Jake woman on the street, right? And you don't know her from a can of paint. You don't know her from Adam and Eve. You get her, you deal with her, you popped her, whatever, right? When you first meet her, hey, what's up, sis? You still call her sister, right? Because you're of the same clan, tribe. You're of the same race. You still call her sister. That's not your actual blood sister, like same father, same mother. So in this law right here, it goes in detail what kind of sister it's talking about. It's not saying cousin. It's not saying niece. It's saying daughter of the father, daughter of his mother. You can't even get with your half sisters. So-called half sisters. It says, cursed be he that lieth with his sister, the daughter of his father. Now, Abraham said she's the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. Right? It says, or the daughter of his mother. And all the people shall say, amen. So according to this, and I know somebody gonna jump up and say, hey, that's 400 years after Abraham. You got to get that out of your mind. And you got to be not afraid to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. Abraham and Sarah did not commit the act of incest. And even though the laws were written on stone 400 and some odd years later, the laws were oral and they were passed down through generations. Otherwise, Cain would not have known how to sacrifice. You understand? Lot. He said this is evil when he was dealing with the Sodomites. How did he know that was evil? Because it was oral. You don't just grow up in the house with your sister. Y'all in the same house. It's in your body not to look at her that way. Only time things like that happen is you got a sister and y'all got the same father, but y'all didn't grow up together. And then y'all meet and y'all don't know y'all got the same dad. Then your father see y'all together and he like, yo, hey, what y'all doing? Y'all can't do that. That's your sister. It happens all the time in the hood. Why? Because that's put in man. And orally spoken about. You don't do this. You don't do that. So even though the law wasn't written on stone, Abraham knew not to lay with his blood sister. It says, cursed be he that lieth with his sister, the daughter of his father, or the daughter of his mother. And all the people shall say amen. So according to GMS and any other camp that teaches Abraham and Sarah were blood brothers and sisters, Abraham is cursed. Abraham is cursed. Right? Now, if you use the same logic, right? That, oh, the law came later. So the Lord allowed it earlier, but you can't do that now. Let's apply the same logic to Cain. Cain should get away with murder because that wasn't written in the law wasn't written yet. You see how stupid it sounds when you say it out loud and realize what you're saying? Now I want to go to, matter of fact, they brought up Leviticus 18 and 9, 19, 18 and what? That was 18 and 9, I believe. Leviticus 18 and 9. The nakedness of thy sister. Look, it keeps describing what kind of sister it's talking about. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother. Whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. So this, just like what I spoke about in the hood, you got a man. He get one girl pregnant, and then he got another girl on the side. She get pregnant. She move around. She moves someplace else. Okay? He had a son with one woman, and then a daughter with another woman. Somehow they end up at the same college or something. They didn't know each other growing up. They father comes and picks one of them up from school. And he say, damn, yeah, I'm finna pick you up from school. And then let's say he picked up the son, but the son is talking to his sister, right? Because they didn't grow up together. The father gonna say, hey, what y'all doing? You can't do that. That's your sister. That's your brother. Right here in the scripture, it's telling you the same thing. The daughter of your father or the daughter of your mother, all right, whether she be born at home, whether y'all grew up together, or whether she was born abroad, whether y'all didn't know each other coming up, you can't do that. So why in the fuck would Abraham do that? I start to get you got to get mad when you realize that's a fucking demon. That is a demon that has you stuck on pride. I can be wrong on everything else, and I admit my wrong. I committed sins and, wickedness and all this shit, right? A broken clock is right twice a day, right? So me, I might be wrong a lot. On this, I'm not wrong. I'm right. And GMS is right a lot. Most of the camps is right a lot. On this issue specifically, they're wrong. Period. Now I wanted to get one final scripture to just solidify the points that I made. Here we go. Wait, let me see. Here we go. Right here. Yep, from 14, Genesis 14:14. And when Abram, all right, so it's talking about Abraham. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the woman also, and the people. So right there, let me see, which I went into this word already, Ak, his brother. Didn't Sarah call Abraham her brother? Right here is calling Lot his brother, but Lot is his nephew. Relative, kinship, same tribe. Point blank period. There's no getting around it. And like I said earlier, it might sound like a small issue, but when you factor in everything that is included, or everything that comes with Abraham and Sarah committing incest, you're now saying Abraham and Sarah are wicked. You're saying that they're cursed. You're saying that their offspring is not going to enter into the congregation of the Lord, even into the 10th generation, right? You're saying that the Lord Yahushua, who came in the body, who came in the incarnation of Isaac, you're saying that the Lord, the Son of the Most High, express image, the Lord Yahushua, came in the body through incest. That's what you're saying. The children of Israel are born of incest. The Israelites are born of incest. That's what you're saying. And I want to end this on one more thing. The Apostle Tahar is absolutely right when he says, when he reads in the scriptures, like, and Moses spake unto the children of Israel. When he goes into the Hebrew, that word is actually bun. So it's really saying speaking to the sons of Israel. That's right. So why you can't go into the Hebrew when it's speaking about Abraham and Sarah? I understand your elders taught Abraham and Sarah blood brothers and sisters. And they probably told you probably asked, hey, why, hey, Elder Ariel or High Priest Ariel, why would the Most High do this? High Priest Ariel probably looked at you and said, the Lord's ways are higher than your ways. He probably told you, we see through a glass darkly. Be occupied in prophecy. That's a small issue. But don't the scriptures say, be not ignorant in any issue, small or great? Or in any matter? In any matter, small or great? So, like I said, surface level seems like a small issue. But then when I just named everything that comes with that, being bastards, God's chosen people being bastards, all right, Yahushua being in a bastard body, coming in a bastard incarnation. No, you got to make it make sense, man. You go into the Hebrew on every other occasion. Go into the Hebrew on this. Get that shit right, man. And again, I'm coming humbly in humility, even though I'm so-called cursing, but that's a passion. Because hearing you say that they're blood brothers and sisters, and you know, the Most High allowed that back then, but you can't do that now. That it sounds like some old One West shit. It sounds like something that they just said so to sweep it under the rug because they didn't know how to break it down and go into it. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Jesus Christ. When I hear IUIC say Most High and Christ bless, and Christ and Jesus, Most High God. When I hear them blatantly disrespect the names of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, the name of Yahweh Yahushua, when I hear that, it sounds like this too. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't stand to hear that shit because it's not right. So, you know, Yahweh Ratazah, I hope brothers actually address this issue. And this isn't to cause division to GMS or any other camp or any other group. This gotta be sorted out. It gotta be straightened. Because this is off, and this is a huge stain, huge spot on the doctrine. Like I said, if Abraham and Sarah, the Lord gave them the okay because the law wasn't written, then Cain got the okay to commit murder too. Because the law wasn't until, you know, hundreds of years later, right? Come on, man. Make it make sense. Shalom. All right, shalom. That was the video. I brought up my issues. I brought up my concern. Hopefully, you know, if you stayed and watched the whole video, hopefully you can see what the scriptures is actually saying. When you go into the Hebrew, you can understand it. Hopefully you can get the correct interpretation. But I wanted to make one final point. I wanted to mention that the elder Yashawamba of GMS, one of the heads of GMS Dallas camp, I actually noticed on the comment board of some video, I don't know if this was months back or if it was last year, he actually questioned the Apostle Tahar on this same issue. And I can't quote him verbatim, but he said something like, you know, Shalom, elder. You know, yeah, about Shem Al-Shah Brakatah. Couldn't Sarah and Abraham just be close relatives or something like that? Does it actually mean that she was his sister? Like, basically, he was bringing up the same argument that I'm bringing up. Because when you go into the Hebrew, it gives clarity of all the possibilities. And you have to choose the right one that makes sense. And the Apostle Tahar, his response was, we see through a glass darkly. Now, I'm only bringing this issue up to make you make a stand. It's either, yes, you're saying that they're incest, you know, Abraham and Sarah committed incest and they're cursed, Deuteronomy 22 or 27 and 22, or you have to say, okay, let me go back and look in the Hebrew and look at all the possibilities of these words. Could it really mean that, you know, she was Abraham's niece and Abraham was saying that she's the granddaughter of his father? You're going to have to pick. You know, I'm bringing this issue up and I want it to be known that this is a spot on the doctrine and it needs to be corrected, you know. So I came humbly, and me personally, I don't have to be responded to directly, none of this, but this is just something that I saw, recently. The apostles was teaching on Saturday, and of course every Saturday I'm watching, and it came up, and it was like the record scratch, or it was like the nails on the chalkboard. As soon as he said that, I said nope, I can't sit with that. I've sat with that for years, and I didn't know how to understand it and break it down. So, it kind of just drifted to the back. You didn't really think of it. But then, it just popped up again. So I was like, no, I gotta, this is not right. So, I came in all humility and sincerity. Hopefully there was some edification in this video, Shalom.